Hey, Teddy K here for Best Buy Plugin, and in this video review we take a look at the Linksys MR8300 Maxstream Mesh Wi-Fi router, which you can use on its own or expand on using Linksys developed nodes to create a mesh. The Linksys MR8300 is a standalone router unto itself because it just comes out of the box on its own. But it is supposed to be, and is designed to be, part of the VELOP system that Linksys has created, which is all about mesh Wi-Fi networking. You won't get any of the nodes out of the box, but the idea here is that you can start with the MR8300 and then expand the network if you choose to. Or you can do the opposite, which is add this as the main router and then use an existing VELOP system as just nodes that you can then spread out around your home. On the surface, the MR8300 is like any other Linksys router. You've got one WAN port, 4 LAN ports, Ethernet ports in the back, plus a USB port in the back that unfortunately does nothing. The USB port, for some reason, is inactive. Now, Linksys says it's going to update the firmware so that it can be active and do something, but it did not elaborate as to what that would actually be. Here's hoping that it'll be for USB external storage so that you can plug it in and then have a network drive, basically, that you can have access to. Other than that, you have the 4 antennas. You have essentially hardware inside that really is what you would expect from a tri-band router. Okay, so you have 2 dedicated bands, 2.4 and then 2 in the 5 gigahertz band. That second 5 gigahertz band is a backhaul. The backhaul meaning that when it connects to the nodes, assuming that you set them up, there is a dedicated channel that they are all communicating on, right? So that it's not interfering with anything else that you're trying to do with your Wi-Fi network. So it's all, I mean, it's essentially doing the same thing that the tri-band VELOP system does. Okay, so it's great. Now to take advantage of that backhaul, just recognize that you do need to get the tri-band VELOP nodes, not the dual band ones, right? So just saying, if you want to take advantage of that backhaul, just make sure that you get those tri-band VELOP nodes. Beyond that, there's not much really I can say. I mean, the setup is pretty standard. Any way you'd set up a VELOP router, you set up this one too. It's the same thing. If you are setting it up with an existing VELOP system, you will have to kind of knock off and restart or reset each node so that you can then add it to the MR8300. It sounds kind of convoluted and complicated. It's not that hard. You just have to physically reset each node. The buttons are on the bottom and you're good to go. For performance, really, the MR8300 is going to be perfectly fine if you live in a smaller space. So I'm thinking condo, apartment, townhouse, or any home where your square footage is not enormous. So even if you're in a 1,500 square foot place, very likely the MR8300 is going to be perfectly fine for you. But if you feel that you need that extra push or that the throughput's a little bit lacking in some areas of the home, that's where the nodes come in. So you can always upgrade the system by adding an extra node. So in essence, you're buying the MR8300 as a starter, and then if you need to expand the network, you can then buy a node or buy 2 or 3 or however many you need in order to just, basically build up the mesh. I know I'm repeating myself here, but this is just meant to be a starter. It could be more than good enough for what you need, but if you need something more, it will at least work with the VELOP nodes, whereas other Linksys routers do not. And that's my review of the Linksys MR8300 Maxstream Wi-Fi mesh router for Best Buy Plugin. I'm Teddy K. Thanks for watching.